What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Bucks3D's YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to be going over the difference between expensive filament and cheaper filament. Okay, we're going to jump right into it. So what I decided to do is buy a $29.95 Cookie CAD PLA Black, as you can see here. And I do really like their marketing on the box. It does look really nice. I think that's how they get a lot of people. It's at my local micro center, so that's where I picked it up. It does have a temperature setting on it. It says made in China. It has a storing option, and it has the weight of the spool when it's empty. So Cookie CAD, they have a ton of different colors on their website, some really cool glitters. Here's just a couple of them on Amazon. And obviously you'll see it goes up to even $35 for like a marble filament. So I do love the aesthetic, and I think they have some really cool filament, but I want to compare it to a cheaper option, which is the Geetek. Now, Geetek, they do let you buy single spools on their website, but I went with the AliExpress option, which was 10 kilograms of PLA for $73.57. So I was about $7.30 for my black PLA, and when I was on Amazon or Micro Center, you're at $29.95 for Cookie CAD. Really a huge markup when it comes to the same amount of filament for the same color, but very, very different prices. Now, what I decided to do is do a couple tests here. So I had a Benchy, a little Benchy cube from Bamboo Studio, and then a stress test that I'm going to do on both the horizontal and vertical rectangles, and then just a giant square so that I can see kind of the finish of each filament to see if one is a higher quality than the other. Okay, so I'm going to show you the spools first. As you can see, we have the Geetek matte black filament, and you'll be able to tell right there that is more of a matte black opposed to a shiny black. And this is 1 kilogram. It tells you the recommended temperature is 190 degrees Celsius to 220 degrees Celsius with a bed temperature of 30 degrees to 60 degrees Celsius. Now we have the Cookie CAD filament. So as you can see, actually it is the same exact spool, just one in black, one in a clear. So exact same spool type, coming from probably the same locations, both made in China. Now Cookie CAD, you can see, is a little bit more shiny, but you'll notice when we actually show you the prints, it actually came out with more of a matte finish as well. So they do have a very similar matte touch. And again, very, very similar product, but a very, very different price. Okay, so for the first test, we have a stress test. And you'll see on the left side, we have the Geetek. And on the right side, we have the Cookie CAD. So the Cookie CAD looks a little bit better. You'll see some lines there. And this is all using the generic PLA settings. On the Geetek, you'll see those little dots. Now, I didn't get that on the rest of the prints, only on the vertical print. So for some reason, when it printed up vertically, maybe it's even on random seams, it kind of made this little dots, or it could have been that it needed to be dried and had a little bit of moisture in it, which caused that. So for the first test, you'll see that the quality is a little bit better on the Cookie CAD, especially because of those little dots. But what we're going to do is I'm going to give it a little bit of a snap and see which one is stronger. So first, we're going to start out with the Geetek. Pretty easily broke right on the seams. It is printed vertically, so that is going to be simple. And there's very low infill on it. It's about 15% infill. So yeah, I mean, pretty expected with PLA. It's going to snap easily. Next, we're going to move on to the Cookie CAD. So let's see. Wow, the Cookie CAD was actually a lot stronger. It took way more force to break it. Now that could have been because of those little dots and the moisture that was in the vertical print. But even on the Cookie CAD one, there's still a little bit of dots on it there. So both of them are not perfect when it comes to getting them right out of the package. Probably again due to some moisture. Usually PLA doesn't hold too much. PETG would hold a lot more. But yeah, both these filaments had the same kind of dotting, and that also could be due to the settings because I didn't dial any of the settings in. It's just generic PLA. Okay, next we're going to show you the surface finish. So this one, it actually looks like the Geetek did a little better of a job. On the right side, you'll have the Cookie CAD, and you'll see on the finish it has a slight gaps between the lines there and kind of some lining on the finish itself, kind of going diagonal. So again, things that can be tweaked and fixed with your settings, but I just wanted to take this out of the box, put it on generic PLA, and see which one had a higher quality. And then here is the Geetek one, which looks slightly better, a little more consistent finish, and less gapping in between the lines. So in that case, the Geetek won this one. Okay, now we're going to take those same squares we had before and we're going to do a horizontal breaking test to see how strong it is printed horizontally. So in this one, we have the cookie CAD. So we're going to give that a bend. And you'll see the cookie CAD really holding its form. You almost have to go back and forth just to get it to start ripping on the seams there. You'll see it kind of forms that white texture when you do bend it, when it stretches out the filament. So yeah, the cookie CAD's holding up really strong, especially for PLA. It's doing great. And then we're going to go with the Geetek. All right. Also very strong. So both horizontal prints came out very good. Obviously, if you're going to print something, you need more strength. You're going to print it horizontally. It just makes a lot more sense. Just dropping stuff everywhere. But, oh, there we go. Got this one to snap. So the Geetek one did snap a little more versus the bending of the Cookie CAD. But again, very similar when it comes to the horizontal prints just because of how much strength is there. All right, next up we have the Benchy. So here I have the Geetek Benchy. Again, has more of a matte finish. Came out pretty decent. There was a little bit of stringing. Let me see if I can get you to see it on the camera. There you go. So there's some stringing right here. Not too bad. Held its form. You can just pull that off. But I do like the matte finish on the Geetek. And then on the shiny one, we have the Cookie CAD. The Cookie CAD also with a little bit more of a matte finish. There you can see the layer lines. Came out pretty good. Now, the one thing that came out a lot better on the Geetek is the plate finish. So as you can see, here is the Cookie CAD one. And then here is the Geetek one. Just the letters showed up a little better. Both pretty decent, though. Now, the last one we did was the little Benchy cube from Bamboo Studio. Here is the Geetek, and here is the Cookie CAD. Both came out very, very similar. So I would say that when it comes to everything but strength vertically, the filaments came out the exact same. They have both very similar quality, again, using the same generic PLA settings. So I would say, yes, that the Cookie CAD was stronger and probably is worth a little bit more money if you're looking to prototype. But when it comes to how much more money it is, it might not be worth it for you. Now, I know this video is a little different than our previous videos going over the different types of filaments. We'll get back to doing some of the setup guide and helping people in the Bamboo Studio. So leave any questions you have down in the comment section below and make sure to subscribe.